Welcome to our video on the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt. In this video, we will be exploring the complex pantheon of deities worshipped in ancient Egypt and discussing their roles and responsibilities. Ancient Egypt was a polytheistic society, which means that they believed in and worshipped many different gods and goddesses. These deities were thought to be responsible for various aspects of life, including the natural world, agriculture, the arts, and more. The ancient Egyptians believed that the gods and goddesses lived in the heavens and could be called upon for help and protection. They built temples and other places of worship to honor and appease these deities, and they offered them offerings of food, incense, and other gifts. One of the most well-known gods of ancient Egypt is Ra, the sun god. Ra was believed to be the creator of the universe and the source of all life. He was often depicted with the head of a hawk and the body of a human, and he was said to travel across the sky in a solar boat. Ra was a powerful and important deity in ancient Egypt, and his cult was widespread throughout the country. The ancient Egyptians believed that Ra was the source of all light and warmth, and they worshipped him as the bringer of life and fertility. Another prominent deity in ancient Egypt was Osiris, the god of the underworld and the afterlife. Osiris was believed to judge the souls of the deceased and determine whether they were worthy of entering the afterlife. He was also associated with agriculture and fertility, and he was often depicted with green skin, a symbol of rebirth and renewal. Osiris was an important figure in ancient Egyptian mythology, and his cult was especially popular in the Delta region. The ancient Egyptians believed that Osiris was responsible for the annual inundation of the Nile, which brought life-giving water and fertile soil to the land. Other important deities in ancient Egypt included Anubis, the god of funerary rites and embalming, Horus, the god of kingship and the sky, and Isis, the goddess of fertility, motherhood, and magic. Anubis was a jackal-headed deity who was responsible for preparing the bodies of the deceased for burial. He was often depicted in funerary scenes, and his cult was particularly popular in the western desert regions of Egypt. Horus was a falcon-headed god who was associated with the sky and kingship. He was a protector deity and was often depicted with outspread wings. Horus was also associated with the pharaoh, who was believed to be the living embodiment of the god on earth. Isis was a powerful and popular goddess in ancient Egypt. She was the wife of Osiris and the mother of Horus, and she was associated with fertility, motherhood, and magic. Isis was also revered as a protector deity and was often depicted with cow horns and a solar disk on her head. But the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt were not always benevolent and loving. Some, like Seth, the god of chaos and violence, were seen as malevolent and harmful. Seth was the brother of Osiris and was often depicted as a chaotic and destructive force. The ancient Egyptians also believed in the power of animals and often associated certain animals with specific deities. For example, the cat was associated with the goddess Bastet, the ibis with Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing, and the crocodile with Sobek, the god of fertility and strength. Bastet was a popular goddess in ancient Egypt, and she was often depicted as a cat or a woman with a cat's head. She was associated with motherhood, fertility, and protection, and her cult was especially popular in the city of Bubastis. Thoth was an ibis-headed deity who was associated with wisdom, writing, and the arts. He was also the patron of scribes and was often depicted with a pen and papyrus scroll. Sobek was a crocodile-headed deity who was associated with fertility, strength, and the Nile. His cult was popular in the Fayum region of Egypt, and he was often depicted with a crocodile head or as a man with a crocodile's tail. In conclusion, the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt played a central role in the lives of the ancient Egyptians. They were revered and worshipped, and their influence extended to every aspect of society. The ancient Egyptians believed that the gods and goddesses were responsible for the forces of nature and the events of daily life, and they took great care to honor and appease them. Thank you for watching our video on the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt.